All right, today we're going to talk about some music basics so that we can understand our notes and how to find our notes on the neck. And that's kind of like the first step toward becoming a guitar player. I highly encourage people to learn songs by their favorite artists because that'll keep you interested in playing the guitar and keep you wanting to play every day. I've never condoned the theory of learning like a really boring Mary Had a Little Lamb or there's those types of things that feel like very tedious and make music feel like a lot like work. But having said that, there is a little bit of work to be done, namely to understand all the names of all of our notes and how to find those notes on the guitar neck so that we can kind of find our way around, and that'll assist us in helping to learn the songs that we want to learn. So where we begin to do that is first we have to know the names of our strings. And bear in mind, whenever we talk about high or low on the guitar, or any musical instrument for that matter, we're not talking about actual height from the point of the ground to the string or from the ceiling to the string. We're talking about pitch. If we say high, we mean a higher pitch. If we say low, we mean a lower pitch. So because of that, that means that our top string is actually our bottom string, and our bottom string is actually our top string. So bear that in mind. That's very important. Sometimes it can be a little confusing when you first begin. Okay, so the way to remember the names of our strings are a little expression called Easter bunnies get down after Easter. And that's starting from our first string, our top string, E, B, G, D, A, and E. And what that's telling us is what note every string begins on. Each string begins on a different note, and from knowing that note, what string that, and when I say begins on, I mean what note are we playing when we hit that string without depressing down any frets, when we hit the open note. So in the instance of our first string, that's an E note, because that's our Easter string. And all that means is we begin on our E note. So if we hit our first fret on that same string, that's going to be our next note. And since we began at E, that's going to be an F in this case of this string. And then we can proceed down the neck and say all of our notes. And I highly encourage saying them out loud. People have a tendency to say them in their mind, but I find that people make a lot more errors when they do that, when they say them in their mind. So it's always good to reinforce this stuff in your memory. Say it out loud, write it down any way you can perceive it. So if we begin at E, then our first fret will be F, then F sharp, then G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, and you'll notice when we get back to the 12th fret, we'll be back on E, because there's 12 notes, and we've hit 13 by the time we get on the 12th fret, because you got to count your open note. People always forget that. Remember, 1, our first fret, we always associate the first with the number 1, but really our first note on every string is our open note. So remember that the first fret is the second note on every string. People tend to forget that. Okay, so as for another example, let's go with our B string. So since our second string is our B string, because we go Easter, bunnies, that's our bunny string, that simply means that that string begins on the B note. And so accordingly, if we progress on that string, hit the first fret, that's going to be the note that follows B, which would be C. And then C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, and on the 12th fret we're back at B, because again we've hit 13 notes. So this is the best way I find to kind of get to know your way around the neck. It's not the most fun thing to do in the world. I would rather sit around and play my favorite songs, but there's really no way around this. You have to have at least this elementary understanding to know your way around the neck and begin to see how to put chords together. And it will come in big handy when you're playing with other people. They're going to tell you, well, we're in this such and such key, so that you'll know where to go. So that would be my advice to when you first begin to play the guitar. If you get over this one tedious exercise, remember the names of your strings. Easter bunnies get down after Easter, and say the notes on each individual string. G string would be G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F sharp, brings us back to G. And once you have these two things out of the way, it's all fun from there. So go ahead and practice it, get it over with, get it knocked out, and hit me up on my website, Lessons Learned at intuitwebsites.com, to book an appointment. We can go from there.